Years ago, my mentor said to me that I didn't suffer fools well. And I thought, what in the world does that mean? So I asked him, what in the world does that mean? And he told me that that meant that I let it show when people had really gotten under my skin. Well, it took me several years to realize that letting it show wasn't the problem. Letting them get under my skin to begin with is the problem. So if you have this problem and people get on your last nerve and sometimes you let it show, then this video is for you. Stick around. I'm going to tell you all my secrets on how to not let people get under your skin, on your nerves, and control your emotions anymore.
GILD Coaching. More success, less stress.
It used to drive me crazy when people would take a long time to make a point. Or if somebody would say that they were going to do something and then not do it. Oh, that drove me nuts. And then it also kind of drove me nuts if somebody kept making the same mistake over and over. And I kind of just wanted to, I don't know, scream at them. Was any of that any of those other people's problem? No, I was the one that was annoyed, not them. My tips today that I am sharing with you on how to not let people get under your skin anymore start with the first one of you have to accept responsibility for your own stuff. The way you feel, the things you say, the way you treat people, the way that you allow your emotions to be manipulated, they're entirely up to you. You are in control of all of it. Number two, you have to accept that other people have a perfect right to feel, think, say, and do everything that they feel, think, say, and do. You're wanting to control the other people's feelings, thoughts, statements, and actions is actually you're not respecting their boundaries. Now there's a couple of tools down in the video description that I have put in there for you just as little freebie gifts. One of them is a blog post on this topic, and another one is a webinar that I'm going to lead you to, and it's about time management and boundaries. This is a major boundaries issue, and I help people develop healthy boundaries all the time. But you have to respect other people's boundaries. I recently had a client say to me, well, I don't have problems with boundaries because I feel comfortable telling everybody everything that's on my mind all the time. And I said, well, let me challenge you on that. You don't have good boundaries when it comes to your own self because you're really bad at self-care. You work 12-hour days. You never turn off on the weekends. You have really bad boundaries in that area. So just because you have good boundaries in one area doesn't mean that you have a hall pass on all of the others. You need to have healthy boundaries in all of the areas of your life. And that really starts not only with respect of yourself, but it starts with understanding where your rights to care about other people's actions end. If you're not respecting other people's boundaries, then they're always going to get underneath your skin because you're trying to mind their business. My next tip for this is that you have to go more slowly. Use your brain, use your thoughts, use your prefrontal cortex, that part of your brain that's there for problem solving, the part that likes puzzles and games. That part of your brain can help you communicate with people so that their tendencies that annoy you are no longer applicable to you. If that doesn't make sense to you, let me give you an example. I have a client who told me when we started our session, she said, I just had my tire plugged today. I almost had a flat tire. And I was like, oh, I'm glad that you didn't have a flat tire. And she sighed and she said, yeah, but my husband told me a week ago that he was going to get that tire fixed. And every single day I've been putting air in it. And finally today I called him and I said, I'm going to have the tire plugged. I'm taking care of it. I said, so why are you so irritated about it? It's taken care of. And she said, yeah, but he told me that he was going to do it and he didn't do it. And I asked her what it looked like. What did the conversation look like when he made that promise to her? And she said that he just told her that he was going to take care of it. And she said, okay. And I said, well, it's because you didn't make a good agreement. You didn't use your problem solving skills to make a good agreement. Here's what that conversation should have looked like. The husband says, I'm going to fix your tire. The wife, who knows that sometimes he takes on more than he can handle, we'll say, oh, what's your timeline on that? Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Okay. Do we need to discuss anything about maybe trading cars, having you take my car so that you can take it to the shop and have it repaired? Or are there any special arrangements that we need to make that are going to make this possible for you? She didn't do any of that. So how is her husband supposed to get her tire fixed when the car is with her and he is somewhere else? That's an impossibility. So if she would have started with a good agreement, then she wouldn't have been putting air in her tire for a week and then finally, with frustration, gotten her tire fixed herself. It is okay for you, when someone makes a promise to you, to ask qualifying questions to get a good agreement. A good agreement there would have been, what's your timeline? Oh, tomorrow? Are you sure? I know that you have a pretty busy day tomorrow. Okay, well, if you're sure, would you like to switch cars so that that can be easier for you to get done? Oh, okay, you don't want to switch cars? Well, then maybe it doesn't happen tomorrow. Maybe it could happen the next day. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you take the time to use your problem-solving skills ahead of time, then your annoyance later on is not an issue because you already solved the problem. These 3 tactics will help keep everybody from getting under your skin. First, you're taking responsibility. Second, you are giving them the right to be as much of a numbskull as they want to be because you're respecting their boundaries. And third, when people do make promises to you, when things are supposed to happen, you're not letting them get away until you have a good agreement that you can rely on. And that will give you qualifying benchmarks to see if it's online toward goal. And if it's not, then you can make adjustments and get your tire plugged all by yourself. I hope that this video has served you well. Again, check the video description for all sorts of goodies and freebies that I've packed in there. And before you leave, hit the subscribe button and that little bell that'll tell you the next time that we upload a video that will help you live a more successful life with lower stress. I'm Dr. Jane Mims with GILD Coaching, guildcoaching.com. I'll see you next time.